Hello everyone. So in this video, I will be showing you how to set up ISPTik from the very first start. So from scratch. So first thing first, you need to have Oracle VirtualBox installed in your computer. And of course, you just have to download the ISPTik.ova file and directly import it to your Oracle VirtualBox. So in my case, I have already set up the latest version as of 1.7. So what you will need to do is just start. Make sure to select the latest version or the current version and then wait for the VirtualBox to load. It will load the necessary services and servers because entirely ISPTIk is just a web server hosted in an Linux environment, particularly Ubuntu server. So we'll just wait for this terminal to load and boot up into the login. Okay. So once you reach this particular state of Ubuntu server, you have nothing to do with this anymore. Just let it run and minimize this window and also this one. Now head to your web browser and on the address bar just type localhost or 127.0.0.1. So any uh, any of that two could be valid or is valid. So let's try. Okay, so we reached the login point. So first thing first, so as you will look at the login page, here you will be redirected to the main login page. And on the login page, uh, you get software versions. And once you click the software versions, uh, you will see a model form stating what are the change logs as of these versions. So the default login account is ISPTik and then admin. So it is always set to default once you have a fresh installation of your ISPTik. So let's log in, and then while we're logged in, if this is your very first time to set up ISPTik, you will be redirected to Mikrotik setup portal or page. So just click on OK. So once this message box pop up, just click OK, 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 and then there you go. You are being redirected or you have been redirected to Mikrotik setup page. So now what we will do is head to your Mikrotik via Winbox and then click on system. So here I will be creating a user account for our ISPTik billing system. Just click the plus sign and then type the username, anything that you want, or any names or password credentials that you want. So in my case, I would be typing ISPTic and of course my password. Okay. Just make sure that it has a full access. Okay. So ISPTic and then your passwords. So yours might be different. But for the sake of demonstration, I have it ISPTic and then admin as my passwords. So let's go back and then we will type the username that you have previously created on your Mikrotik. So here it is, ISPTic. So I will just have to type my password, which is admin. And now here's the thing. How to determine what is your Mikrotik's IP address? Because your Mikrotik's IP address differs uh, from whichever or from which network you are connected. So in my case, I will just have to run CMD and then I will trace route to Google DNS. Okay? So just to see what are the gateways or hoops am I passing all throughout the network. So I guess this is my main router. I'm currently connected. This computer is currently a client of this router. So this is the second router. So this is actually my ISP router. Okay. So I got 3 gateways so far. So request timeout. So I'm having problem with my internet connection, though it's a SIM base. Okay. Okay. So once we reach this particular IP address, so this is actually a public IP. I'm pretty sure that this is a public IP because of the ping. So my choices in determining what is the IP address of my Mikrotik. So I will look for these particular IP addresses or gateways. So just in case you are not uh, sure what is the IP address of your Mikrotik or what is the gateway address of your Mikrotik. So you can do this, or you can just head to your Winbox and look for, what is this? You could always look into routes. Okay, so routes. So since this PC is connected to a PPPOE client router from our Mikrotik, so here are the gateways. Okay, so you could always check on this. So your networks may be different to mine, but that's the proper way of determining what's the IP address. So I'm pretty sure in my case, in my setup, that my Mikrotik's IP address or gateway address is this one, 172.16.0.1. So I got no problem with that. So I will just have to input that and then click. Okay. So just make sure that you have entered the uh, correct IP address of your Mikrotik. So in checking, you could always check uh, ping that particular address if it's really uh, or if it's really your Mikrotik's gateway address and this computer is actually able to communicate. So no problems. So I got a pretty good response. So IP address setup, IP address determined and set up, supports of our API. So you can always look on this to your Mikrotik's IP, services, and then API. Just make sure that this API port number is the same. This one is the same to this one. Okay, so no problem on this. So let's try saving these settings. Okay, so it will load for some time. So loading may depends on the connectivity of your or depends on the connectivity of your internet connections, because um, for security reasons, ISPTIk checks the validity or the uh, license status of your installations. So now we have partially set up ISPTIk to communicate with our Mikrotik. So as you can see here, we have the current time router uptime, and then the router model, version, and the free memory, and the CPU load. So at this time, we have partially connected our ISPTic to your Mikrotik. So in doing that, or in proceeding, so we must set up the very first uh, or we must set up first the very basic or the very essential things for ISPTic to be running or to be jiving with your Mikrotik. So I have provided the menu for that. I have listed all the necessary or the modalities that needs to be that needs to be satisfied first in order for your ISPTic to be working with your Mikrotik, as well as to the entire idea of the billing system and inventory. So in doing that, let's click on Mikrotik, and then as you can see, here we have the IP address, the ports, and the user account that we have previously created. So what is lacking is our interfaces. So at this moment, I will be assuming that you have already set up your PPPOE servers. So these particular interfaces are just for graphing. Other than this, or for these two, but for this bottom four, these are all needed for automation and uh, processing of subscriptions related or linked to PPPP profiles. So in doing that, so if we click on this one interface menu, so it will just list down the available interfaces of your Mikrotik. So since it is labeled ISP1 interface, so I will be selecting my primary ISP. So ISP1. So PPPO interface. So in my case, I have set up my PPPoE server along with my hotspot. So they are running at the same bridge or the same interface, which is bridge hotspot. And then my PPPoE remote addresses, or for my client PPPoE pool, which is pool PPOE, and then my local address. So it's safe to say to just copy the IP gateway address of your Microtext. So it depends on your setup, or it depends on your configuration on how you will set up PPPoE servers. Okay, so I have also here disconnected profile. So for mine, I have already set up, so just click on that. So disconnected PPPoE pool, I have already set up. So that's it. So this is the very fundamentals of connectivity, or this is the very uh, very requirement parameters for ISPTic to work with your Mikrotik. Okay, so because later on we will be doing some uh, trials, we'll be importing data from your Microtek to ISPTic. So let's just save this. Again, it may take some time depending on your internet connections. So in my case, I'm having problem with my connections. Look at the ping, 700. My goodness. Okay. Uh, wow. So just bear with my connection, guys. I'm having problem with internet connectivity. So uh, we can just leave this. So we are 14 minutes. Okay, finally, it loads up. So partially, fully, fully, we have fully integrated ISPTik to our Mikrotik router. So this is the main dashboard for the system. Active clients, total collectibles, total stock value, disconnected clients, hotspot active users, PPP active users, one interface. Okay. So again, since we are done setting up Mikrotik, we can head now to subscriptions. So subscription is actually linked to your PPP profiles. So these are your subscriptions for your clients. Okay, this is usually this is the place where you set up your limit for particular subscriptions, and you set uh, IP addresses for the active or uh, active paying clients, and you have also here the disconnected. So you can always do this, or you can always add these particular profiles in this manner or using Winbox, or you could just do here in ISPTik. So in doing that, so let's click on add subs. So what is missing? So 5 Mbps, so we got no 10 Mbps. So let's say for example I have to add 10 Mbps with of course the limit of 10 Mbps. So the price 1,800 pesos. So click save. So as you can see, it saves the profile, or it saves the subscription in the ISPTic database, as well as it saves the profile on the Mikrotik PPP profiles. Okay, so just that is actually automation. I'm sorry, we have inputted wrong. So let's just edit this ones. By the way, you can always edit uh, entries if you find some errors and some modifications, or if you need some modifications. Okay, so that is the first way to add subscriptions to your PPP profiles. As it states on the top for the info, these features requires connectivity to your Mikrotik router. Make sure ISPTick is configured to connect with your Mikrotik. Data here is bind or linked to your Mikrotik's PPP profile entries. Important reminder, when naming a profile, please avoid spaces on the profile name before saving, just like what I did. So I avoided spaces. So this one, like for example this one, so it may be valid, but ISPTic could hardly read sometimes this particular. So let's just back and just remove this. Okay, so save. So just we can just leave it like that. Okay, so that's the first method of adding subscriptions. So what about if I have existing? So what about this existing? So do I need to delete them and add it again on the ISPTic subscription menu? Well, it could be, but there's a easier way in doing that. So we could just import those profiles by clicking on these PPP profiles, and then now you can see here that uh, in the list, ISPTic actually listed the available profiles that is not yet synced to the subscriptions. So as you can see, here we have 1 Mbps, default, disconnected, etc. 5 Mbps. But take note of the 10 Mbps that we have recently added. It's not here. It is because it is already bind to our billing system. So it will appear it will appear on the Winbox, but in ISPTIk, since it is actually in the logic on determining what is the uh, already added profiles. So if we just click on PPP profiles, again, too long to load. So there's no 10 Mbps. So by doing that, or in exporting or importing or linking or binding your existing PPP profiles from your Mikrotik, you just need to click this button from the action row. So just click this one. So since this is 1 Mbps, what is the price for your 1 Mbps? So 600. So let's say 600. So just notice, just when I click the save button, it actually disappears from the list. So I did that because in order for you not to be confused when entering or binding profiles. So 2 Mbps was the price, so 800. So save, so 3 Mbps again, what's the price? So 1000. So what is the price for 5 Mbps? So again, 1200. So anyways, these inputs are just for demonstration purposes. So let's also include disconnected profile, which is the price is set to 0. Those are actually profiles for disconnected clients. Okay, so let's head to subscriptions again. So again, it's taking some time to load because libraries on ISPTIk depends on the Google fonts. This one, this is this that these fonts that you see are actually CSS libraries for Google APIs. So it takes some time to load, given that I have a not so good internet connection right now. So just please bear with me. Okay, so we have actually set up our subscriptions. Okay, so I hope everything is, let's check. Okay, so the needed profiles for our ISP billing, it seems that it is already working. So let's head again to the essentials. So actually this is subscriptions, so we are now done with the subscriptions. So now we head to providers. Okay, so providers, as the info says, these features lets you add, modify, and delete informations of providers involved in your business, such as internet service provider and material suppliers, etc. So let's try to add providers, for example. So in my case, I have a Gomo Prepaid as my ISP. So Philippines. So at contact number. So provider type ISP, monthly. So I got a monthly of 499. So just save it. Okay. This is actually in preparation for the cash flow entry. So given the fact that the ISPTIk also has the feature of cash flow to monitor the cash flow of your business. So anyway, let's add again providers. So Shopee, and then Philippines again, contact number, so material. So mostly here in the Philippines, we usually get our supplies or materials from online shopping companies or online shopping channels like Shopee and Lazada. So monthly payment terms, no monthly, so just click on others. So payment amount, just set it to 0. Okay, so there we have our providers. So Gomo provides our internet. So if you have a dual ISP or triple ISP, you could always add this one. You could always record this one. Or you could always add it on this providers menu. So essentials again. So let's head into business. So here I have, in my case, I have inputted my business name. Okay, I have inputted my contact numbers. I have inputted my DNS or host name and my name, and then you could always choose your as of version 1.7, you can now choose your uploadable logo image of your choice. So just close this one. So business, so NAPs or the network access points. So in my case, I have just added a temporary or uh, the default. So I got 100 slots. So if you are using OLT, you can relate on this particular feature NAPs. So in dividing your laser output for your fiber optic transmitters. So you could always NAPs, describe your NAPs where it's located. For example, National Highway. Okay, National Highway. Tapos, or, and then how many slots, if it is 8 port or 16 port or 16 ports, you can always do that. Okay, so let's say 16 ports. Let's save. Okay, so we have now, so along with it, it actually displays number of subscribers. Okay, it is in the system logic. So again, essentials, we're done with NAPs. So materials. So here materials, this is actually in preparation with the inventory, because ISPTIk also tracks the movement of your stocks like modems, etc., connectors, UTP cables, anything that is needed for your ISP and ISP business or WISP management. As much as possible, I try to include the very fundamentals of a WISP management system, providing the integration of PPPOE server and hotspot of Mikrotik. Again, it's taking some time to load, but please just bear with my internet connection. It seems internet connections is fluctuating. Anyway, you can just open YouTube. Yeah, it's taking some time to load. Okay, so let's just close this. So here in materials, just the same, you can add materials, but that's why providers, as you can see, provider is on the top of materials, because for material entries, there is actually a field or a requirement to fill wherein it asks for the provider. So let's say, for example, Shopee Philippines, and then what you have ordered. Let's say, for example, I ordered P2P modems or WISP modems. So I will just name it Wi-Fi modem. Okay, so brand, so Mercosys, which is the usual. So per piece, so I got it for 500 pesos, for example. So just save. Okay, so there we have our modems. But take note on the stock number, in the stock column, it is still 0. So, let's say for example, I've added or I've ordered from uh, my supplier. So, you just have to name the PO number or the purchase order number or just anything that is that best describes the order or the purchase order. So in my case, I just leave it Shopee order Manila number 1, and then how many. So let's say for example, I have ordered 10 pieces, and then just enter the date process. So click save. So take note, now we have stock of number of 10. So when I click the transaction history, so I have actually uh, as per listed. So I have debit and credit. So current balance of my modem in my warehouse or in your stock room is 10. So okay, that is the basic computations. So the value is actually still 0, but once we refresh the page, because it seems that I didn't included the auto calculation on my Ajax. So there you have 5,000 for 10 pieces times 500 unit price. Okay, so I hope you get it. So essentials again. So let's head back to, or let's do now clients. So here in clients is the most crucial part because in creating clients uh, or oh no. So I will just demonstrate first how to how to create clients using ISPTIk. So just the same. Let's say for example De La Cruz 1, and then address Manila PH, and then profile is, so let's say he got or he has a subscription of 1,200 5 Mbps at 1,200. So and then what if you are asking for fees for new installation, you could always have it, for example 1,000, or if not, just leave it 0, and then the date of installation is, let's just make it today, okay, or right now, as of date of today. So just click save. So now we have uh, newly added clients. So what is this newly added clients? So newly added clients, since he is a WISP client, so he needs a modem. Alright, so just click on the modem, because it's too impossible to have this client, P2P client, without having a modem. So it is actually given that once you activated the client, there is always a corresponding modem for that particular client. So in doing that, actually we are now near to the PPP accounts, which is the very fundamentals of the automation of the Mikrotik billing system, automated to PPPOE to your Mikrotik. So again, it's taking some time to load. Let's just load this particular. Okay. So ping. Yes, we will take a look on that ping. Okay, modems. So just the same, here we have to click activate modems. So as you can see, that's why materials or modems is, or materials is set up first, because modems is considered materials. So in times we are going to activate modems, there we will have to select the modem or the stock modem. So just input the serial number. This is just for uh, safekeeping purposes or tracking of your modems or inventory. So MAC ID as well. So once you're done, so save. So there we have our newly activated modem. So take note, on the client column is still 0 because this modem is not yet bind, or this modem is not yet owned by a particular client. So let's head now to our final quick setup menu, which is PPP account. So let's wait again. Oops. Okay. So we have 3 buttons here. So manually, we could add clients, PPPOE clients by clicking this new PPPOE. So as you will remember, if you still remember, we have actually set up Juan de la Cruz as a newly added client. And then once I click on Juan de la Cruz, it will automatically suggest PPPOE name and passwords according to its name and the setup of your DNS. So this is just the affix or suffix. I don't know what, but uh, it the idea of this is that username of PPPoE account is based on client name. Okay, client's name. So De La Cruz one, no spaces, just a straight name from last name to name, just straight, no spaces, and then appended by your DNS or host name. And then this password is actually his or she's his account number in your billing system. So you could always change this, and then take note also this the modem that we have currently activated, that we have previously activated, is also selected because you cannot add a PPP account with no activated modems in ISPTIk alone, in ISPTIk way of adding client. But later on, I will be teaching you how to import your existing PPPoE secret entries to your ISPTIk billing system. So again, profile is also auto-detected. So if in case you want to adopt ISPTIk way of generating accounts, PPP accounts, you could just hit save directly. So save. So there you go. So there we have ISPTIk. Okay. And then if we will take a look on our PPP secrets, so there we will have De La Cruz Juan. Okay. De La Cruz Juan. Okay. So now uh, let's now tackle the importing of your existing PPP secret entries to your Mikrotik. Here's the list of my existing, which is not yet an entry of the ISPTIk billing system. So let's just erase this one. So save. So if we take a look on the okay, so since that is not this is the I have previously created, since they're not the same, it's the same. Okay, so I have erased. So now I will demonstrate how to import existing. So here also you can see the current active PPPoE clients, and then the secrets entries. So in doing that, if I want to import this particular PPPoE secret entries to my billing system, I will just click on import and then save changes. So now it is successfully imported. So if you see nothing here, it is already in your system. So here we have a clients, PPPoE, username and password from your existing Mikrotik. It just or it's just copied. What was that? Or it just copy the or import your existing Mikrotik PPP entries to your ISPTIk billing system. Just the same if we will click on business or and clients. Okay, here they go. So you have your manually added Juan de la Cruz and the imported. So the thing now is, since ISPTIk only determines ISPTIk only determines the passwords and the usernames and the services and the profiles, What is lacking is the actual name of that particular client. Just name it according to the real names. So like for this one, if that is, let's say for example, Smith, Smith, John. Okay, so address, USA, subscriptions is carried, modem, you could always have set up modem for later because it is actually imported from your, it's the process of adding this client is not based on ISPTik way of client. It is imported actually. So you could always set modem for later. So client type, PPPOE, so NAPS, you can always choose NAPS, where he belongs. So you could always national highway, national highway. I put it national highway, I'm sorry. So head end. So just click save. So okay, John Smith. So for this one, who is this? So, for example, me, address, PH, so NAPS, okay, so save, okay, so this one, so, okay, so, those things that need to be done or need to be set up after importing. So, this will be now the uh, manual part of your uh, naming, or this is just the manual part or the tedious part wherein you have to name your imported clients from your Mikrotik. So if you have hundreds, since you just have to name them according to the real names one by one. So but we have actually solved the one by one in one by one data entry uh, from your Mikrotik. At least we have solved the most tedious part. So the only thing that is manual here is that inputting your or modifying entries from your Mikrotik secret entries to their real names, addresses. Okay, so PPA accounts are already carried. So if you will notice here, so if you will see here, okay, so we have John Smith, John, Jody, ISPTIk, so and so on. So passwords, just the same. So let's take a look. Okay, 42 minutes. So that's it. Okay. So what else do I need to discuss? So again, this is so billing. So let's discuss also billing. So monthly. So provided. So billing are actually prorated. So for new clients, newly installed clients, it will just count their billing on a daily basis until they reach uh, until they reach uh, a period wherein their monthly goes to every end of the month. So what I mean is, if I create billing, so let's say for example, since September is uh, beginning to end, beginning to end. Okay, so let's save our billing. So I have the total amount of 480. Now what is the composition of that one? 480. So if you will take a look on the billing statement, okay, there you will have the individual balances or amount due for each client. So for John Smith, he has 120. Okay. So for Ubias GU, 60 pesos. Actually, prorate means calculating only the consumed days uh, from the date of installations. Since all these clients has the same date of installation, which is today, which is the date where it is imported, so that's why the amount due or monthly are being prorated until such time, and this will only be, or the monthly fee will only be their monthly when they reach or they have fully consumed the 1 month. Or what is this? New clients, less than 1 month, billing statement or billing amount due is actually prorated, not unless they exceed their, what is this? So okay, so that's it. So I hope you get the point. So new clients are actually prorated. So let's make it this way. So new clients are actually prorated based on the date of installation, and every subscriber is destined to be, their cut-off period is every end of the month. So every end of the month they will receive billing statement. Okay, so that's the idea of ISPTIk. I don't know how to explain that, uh, but that's it. The idea of ISPTIk for new subscribers, that is less than 1 month, their monthly billing is actually prorated. The system will just count from the date of installation until the end of the month, and then that is their total amount due. Okay, so I hope that was clear. Even me, I don't understand. So that's it. That's pretty it. So you can also add monthly. So monthly. So when we print, so actually these values are, yes, this image is actually changeable according to your needs. So if you have PayPal accounts, you could always state here your GCash. So since this is a printable document, you could always send this. Or if you are going to send by offline or offline, I mean online through email or text, you could always do that. So select contact list from email addresses or from mobile numbers. But just make sure that you have properly set up your communication API for your email, which is currently supports Gmail, and SMS, which is currently supported by Twilio. You could always make an account here at Twilio. They offer pretty seamless SMS integration to PHP. I got no problem, and I hope I have already implemented and tested this. So once you've signed up, you get actually a $15 bonus in your account or balance in your account, and then sending SMS anywhere in the world takes only about 0.003 dollars. So $15 might be enough for your testing or for your first startup of your business. You could always upgrade and subscribe to them. It's just a small amount just to keep their business running, because as what I've seen, Twilio is the most well documented SMS API for PHP and other programming languages. So that's it. So if you want to send your billing, if you don't want to send uh, paper, or yes, just like this one, if you don't want to print individual billing statement for your customers, or yeah, certain case, it's a case to case basis. Some clients would prefer printed documents, and some other may prepare email documents or text. Okay, so that's it. So I hope everything is clear. So I make this video in English for the benefits of non-Filipino members of the group and subscribers. So I hope everything is clear. Let's see, time check 49. Okay, so it is almost 1 hour. So just the same, everything has, as of 1.7, the updates are, okay, let's see the updates. No. Okay, so these are the updates as of 1.7. Loadable business logo, revised billing statement as you have seen, cyber enhancement, minor bug fixes. Okay, so that's it. That's pretty much it. So I hope everything was clear and discussed thoroughly. I'm sorry for the very bad English because I'm struggling with my English because I'm not so good at it. I try to be clear as much as possible, and I hope for non-Filipino subscribers and inquirers. So I hope you get the idea of this tutorial and setup video. So thank you and good day.